what we gotta do. Legalize. Yeah, what we gotta do. Legalize. Yeah, what we gotta do. Legalize. Gotta put them bushes right in the grave.
This is Dean Becker of the Drug Truth Network. Normally we produce 9 radio programs each week about the harms of the drug war, but today we're with Rick Steves, Los Angeles, California, to talk about these marijuana laws and, if I observe correctly, the overall drug policy of this United States. Is that correct, Rick?
Well, that's what the NORML convention is about. We're kind of considering drug policy on marijuana like, I think, the equivalent of the prohibition against alcohol back in the 1930s.
Now, I am a member of Law Enforcement Against Prohibition. We're a group of about 9,500 members worldwide who have come to the similar conclusion. This drug war is bass-backwards, counterproductive. It's just not doing what it was intended to do. And we're trying to end prohibition itself. I heard during your speech today at the NORML conference, you talked about LEAP. You mentioned them. You talked about certain nations' police forces kind of taking a new look at this, a nuanced approach. You want to talk about that?
Well, law enforcement wants to help reduce the harm that drug abuse causes a society. I mean, I would imagine that motivates a policeman. They care, and there is harm caused by a society by drug abuse. And I would think it's demoralizing for a policeman who wants to contribute in this area to have to do something that he doesn't believe in. And I think a lot of police officers don't believe that the responsible adult use of marijuana is causing harm to anybody. And I just think it's, if you get that out of the way, then police officers are free to really tackle the serious problem and make a difference. I would feel better if I was a policeman knowing that I could actually help a society rather than criminalize people that are just exercising what I think is a civil liberty.
Yeah, my thought on that is to judge people by their actions, not the contents, their pocket.
And I mean, nobody's saying drug use is good. Nobody's saying kids should smoke pot. All we're saying is let's consider the problem a health issue rather than a criminal issue. Let's be pragmatic about it. Let's learn from Europe, from their track record of not arresting adult pot smokers, that it is a constructive way to deal with this problem. And what's a curious thing to me is, in Europe, law enforcement people who are not retired can say this makes sense. Here in America, I would think most members of LEAP, Law Enforcement Against Prohibition, are retired law enforcement officers.
Exactly. We've had a few, a working Texas warden actually spoke
Is that right?
a few years back.
But I mean, that's a sad, sad situation when you can't speak the truth until you're retired.
Exactly. Now, you also had a phrase that caught my attention, dealing with the fact that, as you stated, you're a child-rearing, church-going pot smoker. We're not the ones kicking in doors, destroying people's lives and futures, and I think it's time to claim the moral high ground. Your thoughts?
Well, yeah. First of all, you can't legislate morality, so I don't think the morality of it is an issue. I mean, you can't lock up people for watching Playboy, I don't think, and you could say that's moral or immoral. You know, it's the same thing. You can't lock up people for being obese. I mean, some people can say that's not good. I think that the morality issue is not that big a deal. On the other hand, I think that I guess I just don't care about the morality issue of it. I don't see any incongruity at all if I'm going to enjoy relaxing with a joint and going to church the next morning, going to work, paying my taxes, whatever. I just don't see the connection. The real bottom line is, am I hurting anybody? Am I drinking while impaired? I mean, throw the book at them. I don't know. I wouldn't give those people any sort of slack. I'm talking about people who want to listen to the Beatles and actually hear everything that's in there. I mean, there's something to that. That's a beautiful thing. I'm talking about people who can enjoy a little nuance in what they're eating because they just have enjoyed a little bit of marijuana. How can that be evil? It's just not. So I try to stay out of the medical marijuana thing because I'm not passionate about it. I think it's an important cause, and I understand why people are passionate about it. I'm involved in NORML and the drug policy issues because I think it's a civil right for adult, responsible users to enjoy a joint. I think that it's a little bit disingenuous, and I think it's a little bit, it hurts the credibility of the movement, frankly, to say that we should just do the medical stuff first and then we can get to the issue that we care about after that. And I think from a law enforcement point of view, I think there's a lot of abuse in the medical, sort of a wink wink, and this is our way to get our pot because we're all got our cards or whatever. So I'm not a good defendant of the whole medical marijuana thing. I think it's a distraction, and I think the reality is 50 million Americans smoke pot. They're not criminals, and if we arrested them all tomorrow, like they'd like to, if they wanted to implement this prohibition thoroughly and effectively, this country would be a much less interesting place to live in.
What we gotta do? Legalize. Yeah, what we gotta do? Legalize. Oh, what we gotta do? Legalize. Gotta put them pushes right in the ground.